A pile of scrap metal was about to become the most dangerous weapon on Earth. A doctor finds the broken body of a mysterious girl in a junkyard and rebuilds her, but she remembers absolutely nothing. Not her name, not her past, and definitely not why the world's deadliest hunters immediately start trying to kill her. Then, in a single fight, she does something no ordinary human should ever be able to do. Who is she? Why does everyone fear her? And what secret from the past is powerful enough to start a war over one forgotten girl? This is Alita, Battle Angel, and trust me, the ending changes everything. Alita wakes up not knowing who she is, where she came from, or why she has these huge, curious eyes. But she knows two things right away. She can move like lightning, and she has a fighting spirit. Found in a scrapyard by Dr. Dyson Edo, a kindly but haunted cyborg surgeon with a soft spot for lost causes, Alita is given a new life in the cluttered, gritty undercity known as Iron City. Ido fits her salvaged head to a patched-up cyborg body and names her Alita after a childhood memory that flickers behind his own sorrow. The opening is equal parts wonder and wrenching mystery. She's a child in a warrior's body, and you can feel the film tugging at the question, who was she before this? Ido's clinic becomes Alita's first real home. He teaches her to walk, to talk, to eat, and to do the everyday things humans take for granted. She's curious in a way that's both endearing and, frankly, terrifying when she starts trying out her strength, because it's immediately obvious she's not an ordinary cyborg. When a street thug attacks a local kid, Alita's reflexes kick in and she dispatches him with a fluid, almost dance-like brutality. That's our first hint at something buried deep in her. A combatant's instinct, something called berserker that whispers of a past life as an elite piece of military engineering. She doesn't remember it, but the moves are in her bones. The world around them is sharply divided. Above Iron City floats Zalem, a pristine, untouchable city in the sky where the elite live. Below, Iron City is a tangle of rust, neon, and desperation, run by smugglers and hustlers who dream of being lifted up. One of those dreamers is Hugo, a charming, scrappy kid who sells illegal parts and dreams of going up to Zalem to find a future with Alita. He meets her at a junkyard hangout, and the chemistry is immediate. Alita experiences tenderness and curiosity toward this earnest human who shows her kindness, and Hugo finds in her a hope that seems to validate everything he's been clawing toward. Their budding romance is sweet in a way that grounds the sci-fi spectacle. It's genuinely moving to watch Alita learn to blush. To pay the bills and keep Alita safe, Edo signs her up as a hunter warrior, essentially a licensed bounty hunter, so she can earn money by taking down criminals. It gives Alita a place in the city and introduces us to the underworld players. Vector, a greasy and charismatic crime boss controlling parts of Iron City's illegal circuit. Chiren, Edo's ex-wife who is smooth, syrupy, and clearly playing a long game. And the lethal military cyborg Gruishka, a hulking enforcer with a taste for destruction. There's also Zapan, another hunter warrior who's jealous and nasty, later becoming obsessed with Alita in a disturbingly vengeful way. These characters populate a world where loyalty is fluid and danger is always a step away. As Alita takes on missions, she grows into her fighting persona. The film stages spectacular set pieces that show off her uncanny agility and power, bar brawls where she outmaneuvers seasoned criminals, and a memorable early showdown with a dangerous cyborg where she taps into previously buried combat protocols and surprises even herself. Edo wants to keep her from learning who she was before. He's protective because he doesn't want her to be used, and because he's carrying a personal burden about the source of her past. But secrets in this city have a way of surfacing no matter how tightly you grip them. Alita's relationship with Hugo deepens, and the two of them share moments of real joy, racing through carnivals, dreaming about life in Zalem, and stealing small scraps of happiness. Hugo's dream of upward mobility becomes a major motivation for both of them. He's willing to risk everything, and Alita, who's never known a future beyond the immediate, is captivated by his belief in possibility. Their romance is the movie's emotional center, and it gives Alita a human tether beyond Edo's fatherly care. That thread of hope gets complicated when Hugo gets involved with Vector to pay for a risky plan to get to Zalem. Vector represents the gatekeeper to the upward mobility in this world. He peddles access, not necessarily morality. Hugo's need to provide and his eagerness to escape make him vulnerable, and you can see the narrative building tension around his choices. While Hugo seeks a way up, Alita's journey takes another shape. She discovers motorball, a brutal, high-speed sport played on a circular track that's part roller derby, part gladiatorial spectacle. Motorball is more than entertainment. It's a ladder for the talented to win fame and money, and Alita, with her uncanny reflexes and speed, is a natural. Training for motorball gives Alita a new community and a new focus. The sequences in the motorball arena are kinetic and loud. Players crash, leap, and take insane risks, and Alita's style, graceful yet lethal, quickly makes her a standout. Her coach and the teammates are rough around the edges, but start to respect her not just for her strength, but for her heart. Motorball scenes also serve the plot by putting Alita in the public eye, and eyes in Iron City are always profitable for the people who profit from spectacle. Meanwhile, undercurrents from Ito's past begin to surface. He's being watched and hunted by some heavy hitters with connections to the floating city above. The film gets darker when Gruishka and his allies increasingly target Ito, seemingly to get at something he knows. Several tense confrontations show that Ito isn't the unflappable old surgeon he appears to be. He has regrets and scars, literally and figuratively. In a wrenching twist, Alita learns that her body is a dismantled relic of an advanced military prototype known as a berserker, something designed for war and engineered for lethality. The revelation complicates her identity. She's more than a survivor, she's a weapon. This sets up the central conflict of the film. Will she be a tool for other people's ambitions, or will she reclaim her agency? Hugo's storyline reaches a tragic crescendo. His plan to reach Salem unravels in a way that's both heartbreaking and inevitable. The film doesn't shy away from the cruelty of Iron City's social order. Hugo's choices, driven by love and desperation, lead him into danger, and he pays the ultimate price. The moment of his death lands hard. Alita arrives too late, and the loss shatters her. The movie handles the aftermath with rawness. Alita's grief is immediate and primal, and if you're not blinking, you might miss the vulnerability that peeks through her warrior exterior. Hugo's death reorients Alita's motives, from curious survivor to someone with a mission that's both personal and moral. From here, the film turns toward confrontation and revelation. Alita's fights become less about survival and more about confronting the forces that exploit people like Hugo, Ito, and herself. She goes after those who wronged her family, figuratively speaking, and finds herself up against heavy hitters with ties to Salem, who seem to view Iron City's inhabitants as expendable. The stakes ratchet up in a set piece where Alita faces Gruishka. It's one of those blockbuster fights where choreography and emotions sync perfectly. She's angry, not just for herself, but for all the people who've been crushed by the system. Chiron's role is an interesting shade of ambiguity. She's slippery, playing both sides. She seems to want to protect Ito, yet also seems to be under the thumb of the higher powers in Salem. The film suggests that life in Iron City is policed by a system that manipulates personal relationships for power. Meanwhile, Vector continues to operate his criminal empire, and his interactions with Hugo and others show how much the city's hopefuls are gambits in someone else's game. The climax leans into both spectacle and a bittersweet emotional payoff. Alita confronts the network of corruption that funnels resources and people upward while keeping the poor below. She uses everything she's learned, from the clinic to the cage to the motorball track, and we see that her berserker abilities, while terrifying, are also a means to protect the people she loves. The final battles have real consequences. Buildings topple, alliances break, and the true cost of hope is revealed. Ito's own choices, his attempts to shield Alita, his human flaws, are laid bare, and the film doesn't sanitize his mistakes. There's a sense of elegy in the finale. It's not a neat, Hollywood happy ending, but it does offer a sliver of direction for Alita. Even after the rubble settles, the movie leaves us with questions about identity, about what it means to be human when your heart can be both flesh and circuitry, and about whether dreams of a better life justify dangerous compromises. Alita chooses to become the author of her own story. She honors Hugo's memory by refusing to be a pawn in someone else's plan. The final moments are both ominous and hopeful. You can see her resolve to find Salem, not just to climb into privilege, but to confront the source of the injustice that cost Hugo his life. It's an open-ended beat, designed to promise more, a sequel unmade, a journey that continues. Throughout, the movie mixes heart and high-concept world-building. The visual effects give Alita a striking presence. Those big, expressive eyes are a little uncanny, sure, but they also lend her a palpable vulnerability. There's humor sprinkled in, mostly from moments of cultural clash. Alita trying to understand pop culture, or Ito fumbling with everyday parenting moments. The romance with Hugo grounds her and gives the film emotional stakes beyond the sci-fi set pieces. Their intimacy feels earnest and human, which is crucial when the action could otherwise dominate. And the action itself is dynamite, well choreographed, visceral, and often inventive. If there's a critique to offer, it's that the film occasionally rushes through complex world-building, trying to set up a larger saga within the span of one story. That can leave supporting characters a bit thin, with motivations that feel convenient at times. But the core, Alita's search for identity and belonging, remains compelling. Rosa Salazar's performance, under heavy digital augmentation, sells that emotional center. She brings curiosity, heartbreak, and fury in equal measure, and you believe the humanity underneath the tech. In the end, Alita, Battle Angel is a love letter to underdogs, to found families, and to the idea that who you were doesn't have to define who you become. It's a spectacle with a beating heart. You get kinetic fight sequences, futuristic aesthetics, and a bittersweet romance anchored by loss. Alita emerges as a hero because she chooses compassion and justice over simply fulfilling the violent role she was built for. The movie closes on a note that's both somber and energizing.